Welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about, but probably should. And welcome back. If you are with us and up to date with the weekly episodes, and it's a Happy New Year to you. And I hope you've had a great Christmas time and New Year's. And I was talking to someone just the other day, and they were saying, thank goodness it's all over. All that prep and the stress of getting Christmas ready, and it's over and done with for another year. But I think at the time we can always pause and just celebrate, the things we do have, and that's the secret to happiness, isn't it? It's actually acknowledging and enjoying the things we actually do have, no matter how big or small that might be, compared to, what we don't have. And I think we need to keep that in the back of our minds, having a bad day, then just being grateful for what we do have often will get us out of the slum. And look, we're continuing our episodes of Innate Code, the 8 things that we believe look at ultimate health or allow you to become ultimate in health. And we're up to episode 6 in our movement episodes. And today I want to talk to you about movement as a tool for like emotional resilience. And we know that that's probably the key. Even we talked about this the other day about in the family that often we'll buy things or we'll do things based on our emotion, not based on logic. So, for example, if I asked you how to become fit or, what you actually really need in the household, whether it's for food or, assets, often we can answer that question when we sit logically and think about it because everyone wants to survive and thrive. But the problem is that we often go on emotion. So, I think one time way back, I came home with a coffee machine. I was actually out for a wash machine, and the salesman did a really good job of getting me in, saying how great the coffee would make my life. And maybe he's right, but $700 later, I came home with the wrong appliance. So I wasn't very popular back then. But again, that's I think it's another emotional thing. So we know that the secret to really good health is a true, authentic connection. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of that, I believe, with our social media. Kids being stuck on Netflix. I know in our family it's been a bit of a battle during the holidays to get kids out and about, and you can actually see their mood change when they do come outside and shoot some hoops or kick the soccer ball around, muck around the dogs, because the actual movement gives them endorphins. And look, today I want to talk about movement as a tool for emotional resilience. So we're exploring how it can help us emotionally stronger and also more resilient through your day-to-day life. And did you know that people who engage in regular physical activity are now 25% less likely? They've actually proven this, 25% less likely to develop depression or anxiety. And I don't know if I talked about this before in an episode, but I know when I was doing some study, they were talking about how when someone was going through anxiety and depression, they had 3 groups, and one group had medication only, one had medication and exercise subscribed, and the other one had exercise only. And they took these trial groups through 6 months, same situation, same demographic, socioeconomic status, and they tried to keep the control groups as similar as they could. And what they did, they came back, and I think, don't quote me, but it was roughly around the people on medication was about 55% happier, like they became out of depression or anxiety state better. The people who had depression, anxiety, and medication and exercise, something like 60% improvement. So it was better, obviously, with exercise and the drugs and the medication. The people who just exercise was something like 68, 70%. So exercise only across the board of those people, the sample size I think was big enough, it was over 1,000. They actually showed that exercise was the thing. Now the problem is with us, and you're probably aware of this yourself, you think about yourself when you've been, feeling a bit lazy or tired or no energy, or you're feeling really down mentally. We don't feel like exercising. We don't feel like moving. Logically, we know it's probably going to make us feel better. We're going to feel better in ourselves. We're going to feel like a winner. We got outside and did something. But unfortunately, we actually don't do it because we don't feel like moving. And because we don't feel like moving, what happens? We don't move. We still have our anxious or depressive state or feeling down. We then feel like we may be a bit of a loser because we didn't have the guts to get up or the mental tenacity to get up and move. And again, it's spiral effect. So if you think about it for a second, what if something as simple as a walk or a few stretches could help you, better handle life's challenges? And look, by the end of this episode, I hope you feel inspired to take the small but powerful steps towards using movement as a tool for emotional balance, and maybe a few little tips and tricks to emotionally get yourself moving rather than just relying on our logical brain, which often lets us down. All right, I want to picture this. Picture this. If you've had a tough day and work is overwhelming and family responsibilities are piling up, or you're a student, you're getting stressed out and you're feeling on the edge, you sit down, you scroll on your phone, or maybe you binge watch a TV show or a series. Does the stress really go away? Maybe at that time, but when the episode or the scrolling stops, what happens? Probably no improvement. In fact, the feelings just linger. So why? It's because your body hasn't had a chance to process that stress. Now, this is really important. When was the last time you felt overwhelmed by stress? Like, how did you handle it? I know how we handle it here at home. Often we blow off. Just blow the handle. Blow up deluxe, get cranky, and then think, why the heck did I just snap for no reason? Did yours actually involve movement, or were you stuck in the same place? Keep that experience in mind as we explore how movement can be the emotional reset button you might be missing. Let's talk about why this happens, because I guess this is the stuff that I love, because neurologically, when we are stressed, our bodies produce this hormone called cortisol. And everyone goes, oh, that's a negative thing. Cortisol is so negative. Well, it actually has a purpose. In the old days when we were in our fight and flight or freeze, if we were going to be attacked by a bear or whatever we were, cortisol would kick in fast and give us the energy quickly needed in our muscles to move away from that danger or freeze. Maybe a snake going past. We're supposed to freeze apparently, and it'd slide right past, hopefully, or fight, go and attack that and try and get rid of the problem, So it's useful in short bursts, like we do need to react quickly to danger. But when cortisol builds up over time, it becomes completely toxic. And look, we see this a lot in our students these days, and we see it a lot with adults because of the stress of work, the stress of finances, the stress of maybe students or children on their social media and the lack of connections. It becomes toxic over time. So it leaves us feeling anxious, irritable, and often exhausted. And what happens when we're exhausted? Often we don't address the problem. We just want to just let it go and say, hopefully it'll pass. Okay, now I want you to think about this. Have you noticed how your body feels when you're sitting for hours on end? Maybe your shoulders are tense, your jaw is clenched. And I don't know for sure, energy just feels zapped. You feel absolutely flat. And look, that's your body begging for movement. It does not sound logical, but it does. It wants to move. All right, so what do you do when you notice those signs of stress? Do you push through, or do you take time to move and release the tension? Okay, I want you to be honest with yourself here. It's a question worth asking you. This is for you. What do you do? I know personally I struggle if I'm sitting down too long, and I can easily get in that habit, especially in school holidays, just to relax and watch a whole day of cricket and then feel like crap by the end of the day by just sitting down. All right, so here's where movement comes in. Just 20 minutes of activity, 20 minutes, whether it's walk, yoga, or even some light stretching, it can reduce cortisol levels and release endorphins. And we all know endorphins are your body's natural mood lifters. They make you feel good and it's sustainable for longer. Right? It helps you feel calm, clear, and probably helps you be more capable of handling anything or whatever comes your way. So again, let me ask you another question. I'm asking lots of questions today because I want you to actually really resonate with you. What's one movement activity you actually enjoy? Not what you think you should do, but something that generally feels good. And we've talked about this before. People say, oh, I need to go for a run, or I need to go for a long swim, or I need to get on the rower or the bike. And if you enjoy those things, go for it. That's fine. That's awesome. All right. But if you don't enjoy it, don't do that. It's probably not sustainable. All right. The feeling of runner's high when you go for a run and you stop, and when you finish and you've got 4 or 5 minutes later, you get these natural endorphins to your body and you feel awesome. That's great if you can push through the run at the start. All right. Again, remember, our body's not logical. So what's something that is fun? For my wife, for our anniversary, it was our 3rd year. And we had leather is the 3rd year anniversary, and I know mine boggles, but I bought this crazy little indigenous backboard of a basketball hoop, and it's a little tiny plastic one that keeps inside. I said synthetic leather with a ball, and it's just to help her when she's doing her work from home to get up and actually move and shoot some hoops. And plus the kids and I, and we all run past and do games with that. And now it's a bit of a fun time where the kids and I shoot hoops. Whoever gets it in first, the other ones have to do push-ups. And it's fun, it's competitive, and it's actually getting us to move, and our mood and our little jokes and our family connections from something so small is improving bit by bit just by doing that. All right. So what's something you can actually enjoy? Not what you should do, but something that genuinely feels good. Could you join a dance class? We're thinking of doing it this year. Join some dance class, something completely random. Gardening, if you love gardening, get outside, even perfect. The environment is so good for your mental health. A short jog. All right. I read a book. I was trying to think of what it was now. Wasn't the 5 a.m. club, I don't think. Something else. There's one recently. I'll have to get back to you with that one. But I remember it was an entrepreneur who was dressed up as just as an everyday person. You couldn't tell just by superficially looking at this person that they were an entrepreneur. But he would just do push-ups I think it was 10 push-ups or 20 push-ups on the hour. Middle of conversation, middle of a meeting, bang. Didn't stop him. Everyone thought this guy's crazy, but then they'd go, well, hang on, he's successful in relationships, successful with money, successful in business, helping other people. I can't really judge him. Maybe push-ups would help me. All right? It's amazing how we think. All right? So if nothing comes to mind for you, start small. What's one way you could move your body today, even just for 5 minutes to get going? What if you could do 4 5-minute bursts over the whole course of the day? Well, look, here's your challenge journal today, your entry. And I'd like you to keep doing these journals. It's really important to write things down. Every New Year's, we write down 100 goals. I've done it really specifically for the last 4 years. I think last year I got to goal, 79 out of 100. So, and some of them are pretty big goals on there. Some I missed out, but hey, I wrote them down and could see them. And every week I'd actually walk past and reiterate, making sure I'm there and fresh in my mind. And some are like to exercise more, some are to eat healthier, some are to drink more water, some was to actually surf more, touch base with friends or old friends, just small ones. And it's amazing when you look at that stuff, it actually tinkers your brain, maybe even subconsciously, to make action to do those things. So for your journal today, number 1, reflect on 3 situations this week that left you feel emotionally drained. What did you do, or what didn't you do? How did you respond? And then write down how might movement have helped that situation. All right? Number 2, write down one activity that feels calming or empowering to you. Plan a time this week to try it and notice how it makes you feel. Remember, we're all about humans. We are feeling creatures, not necessarily logical creatures. So how did it make you feel? And if it does make you feel good, and it does give you those endorphins, a chance are you're going to keep doing that. And that can have a compound effect over time to better health. All right? And number 3, think about a time when movement helped you process stress. Like when you were completely stressed, what did you do? And then suddenly the stress was gone. Did you go for a walk around the park and have your headphones on listening to relaxing music? All right? What did it do for your mood or mindset? So just remember, it's not about doing it perfectly. It's about starting. All right? Consistency is the key. So what small steps can you take today to improve your overall health and to make sure that your emotional resilience can be improved by movement? Thank you for joining us in GW Unspoken, and we look forward to the next episode where we talk more about how movement can affect our social and emotional well-being.